Hello everyone. Today we're going to be answering the commonly asked interview question: have you ever dealt with resistance in the past as an Agile practitioner? So I'm going to be giving an example, a sample that you can use and succeed in your interview. And in addition to that, I'm going to be using a very cool technique known as the CAR technique. CAR is an acronym that helps guide you to ensure that you're covering all the areas as the interviewers would like to hear. The C stands for the challenge or context. A stands for the action that you took, and R stands for the results. If you apply this technique, you will be ensuring that you are giving the interviewers what they want, and that's how you'll be moved to the next phase of the interview. So let's go. If I'm asked this interview question, the way I'm going to approach it is I will say something like, oh yes, I have dealt with resistance so many times. A typical example that I can recall was a time when I joined an organization and then I noticed that they were not conducting the standard official Scrum events. Most especially, they were doing some of them, but one of the most important Scrum events, which is the sprint review, they were not actually doing this event. And as a result of that, it seems like they never had a stopping point. So team members were always feeling burnt out. Customers were hardly ever satisfied because they've never had an opportunity to even see one working functionality that the team members have created. They will only hear about it through status update meetings, but never an opportunity to see. Even the director of software engineering even told me that, Karen, it would be the best day of my life if I had to even had the opportunity to see one working functionality that this team has created instead of always hearing about it. And the funny thing is that whenever they would talk about this thing during the status update meetings, in reality, when these things are being deployed to customers, it hardly does what it was intended for. So customers were always frustrated. Team members were demotivated because they felt like they were not appreciated despite their hard work. So I ask if they are familiar with sprint review events. They were not familiar with it. I asked if they are open to trying it out. The dev lead wasn't interested at all. According to the dev lead, it was just an additional meeting to their already so many meetings. So the dev lead was super frustrated and not ready to attempt it at all. So in my understanding, I seek to want to know where the dev lead was coming from, and then I realized that they were already overwhelmed with so many different meetings that has nothing to do with Scrum events. So I seized that as an opportunity and asked if they were interested in hearing about how the Scrum works and the events. So they were open to that. So I explained to them the concepts of the Scrum events and the purpose of this, and I was able to help them separate the Scrum events from every other meetings, helping them to understand that the priority for them to be successful as a Scrum team is to first ensure that they are taking advantage of these events, and then they can, deal with their other meetings. So with that understanding, the Scrum lead too wasn't interested. So they still went through one more sprint, and again, as usual, it seems like they were continuously going in circles, never a stopping point to just stop and see what they've been doing and even appreciate their own work. So I still went to the dev lead and asked if he's open to just try out. The other team members were open and interested to just try out this sprint review event, and if he doesn't find any value in it, he can always drop it. They can always drop it. So with the mindset of experimenting, the dev lead was like, okay, let me give you the benefit of the doubt and try this out. So I went back, I did my best to plan for that event in advance to ensure that we're getting the most value out of it. So I set up the event and we conducted a sprint review event for the first time ever. I had marketed it and were able to have the stakeholders that we needed. And during that event, they were really able to demonstrate the 3 Scrum pillars of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. And they were able to get feedback from customers, and right there and there, they were able to apply the feedback to the upcoming sprint to ensure that they were creating the right products, you see. And then as a result of that, they were able to also see real working functionality. That was something. It was so motivating. The director of software engineering was so happy, and team members were happy. So after that, we went to the retrospective. I asked if it's something they would like to try again. David was the first person who said, yes, let's try this one more time and see. And that is how the sprint review event became a standard to the organization, and everyone was happy. So that is how I have handled resistance in the past. Hope this was helpful, and I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Take care. Bye.